Hey, everybody, it's Jane Hamill back with another episode. This podcast is for people who make and sell products. If you want to grow your business, you're in the right place. Super excited. I have an awesome guest for you today, Dondre from Almighty. Dondre, how are you?
How's it going, Jane? It's a pleasure. I'm glad. I'm excited to be here.
This is so much fun, you guys. Dondre is a Chicago-based streetwear designer. He is someone I just feel so connected to. I met him. He's a young guy. He was just still in college, barely. And we met and he told me about his plans and I was like, And now fast forward a couple of years, I got him on the podcast. He is doing it. He is running his business. He is making a living, all the things. So Dondre, tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Okay, awesome. So my name is Dondre. I'm the founder and designer behind ALMVGHTY Clothing. As you see, it's Almighty spelled with a V. The V stands for vision, because without vision, the people perish. And I truly believe that. And I started this brand, as Jane said, when my freshman year in college, actually. So that was like in 2014. And Jane was actually my very first mentor. And it's been a journey since then. I actually dropped out of college to do the brand full time, and I was actually studying to become a pharmacist. And so that was my profession. So I'm actually a self-taught designer. So it was really a blessing to get connected with Jane initially, because she kind of helped me kind of guide me through the steps and everything like that. But as far as Almighty is concerned, really, it has progressed so much, even since we have first met. Like what it was then is not what it is now. But as you mentioned, it's a streetwear clothing brand for sure, and it's ultimately a kingdom building clothing company. So my whole goal is to be able to advance God's kingdom through fashion and media, and we do that by creating cut and sew garments that has a message to inspire you, and to inspire you to live on purpose, and to understand that you have a gift and you have a purpose and you have a calling, and that we will truly never live a fulfilled life unless we are doing what God called us to do. And so that's the whole message behind the brand. And so that's it. I'm from Chicago, as you say.
So it's so interesting because you had inklings of this faith-based brand back when I met you, but it was too far out to like, so you guys, just so you know, he was like, were you third year of college?
I was a junior. Yeah, when I first got connected to you. Mm-hmm.
So I'm at a show and this young, adorable kid comes up, just one of a million kids who want to start a streetwear brand. And he's like, hey, I want a streetwear brand. I'm like, get in line, buddy. And he tells me his story and I'm like, okay, this kid's different. And then he says, I'm about to drop out of school. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy, dude. You're a junior at Iowa. But he was dead set on it. I was like, well, then, I mean, yeah, like whatever. Like, so take us back there. Your parents, your family, were they freaking out? You're like, yeah, college is nice. I'm a junior, but I'm going to do this fashion thing. How'd that go over?
No. Yeah. So basically, since I was pre-pharmacy, so technically pharmacy school is a doctorate program. So you don't have to get your degree in order to go into pharmacy school. So the plan was to do my prerequisites. You can do 2 years and then apply, but I did 3 years prerequisites and then I applied. So I never planned to get a bachelor degree anyway. It was just going to go to the doctorate. So like when I did the 3 years, I took a year off to establish residency, because again, I'm from Chicago. So I wanted to establish residency in Iowa to cut that tuition in half, because pharmacy school is very expensive, And even though they say you make 6 figures when you get out, you'll be 6 figures in debt when you get out too. And now I would just be graduating actually this year. I would have graduated in May if I would have stayed. And I heard that the salary actually lowered. So I have no regrets. But
yeah, right. Yeah, and then there's a global pandemic adding to that. So like,
right.
But so, I know that school is tough. That's a tough major. And I was like, if you're already a junior. So anyway, the middle-aged lady in me was a little worried, but
My mom felt the same way. My grandma, and they were worried because my mom's side of the family, we have some Nigerian roots, so they're really big into education. So they were like, you should just finish and get the degree. But in my mind, if I know that this is what I want to do, because at first I wanted to become a pharmacist because I was good at like math and science, and I had a heart to want to help people. But then when I realized that I could help people through the clothing, and this is what God called me to do, then what's the point of me getting a piece of paper that I'll never use? And that's kind of how I looked at it. And so from there, you know, I mean, they're super supportive now. And she was super supportive even when I made the decision. She was just a little bit disappointed. But you know, it is what it is, you know.
Dude,
Just gotta
you're an
go what you
entrepreneur
believe in.
at heart, and
Yeah.
so am I. Like, I was never going to get a job, like never. That was, I didn't know how to sit. I couldn't do it. So either can you.
Yeah.
Either you are. Okay, so you're doing the business during school. You say, okay, it's been nice being a Hawkeye, but I'm going back to Chicago. I'm doing my business full time. How did you get the money to do it?
Man, if I'm being completely honest, transparent, Jane, when I was in college, I was selling weed. If I'm being completely honest. Like, but if I'm being super
That
honest,
works, right?
but I stopped. I stopped though. I stopped. You know, God convicted me on that. I had to clean my hands. But like, I really started with $300. I sold a pair of shoes, Lightning Fours. That actually just came back out for all my
Ooh,
sneakerheads. I was a sneakerhead before I started the brand. Actually, super big sneakerhead. So I had ideas of starting the brand back in high school, but I didn't get to actually start it until like college. So between that $300 investment, when I sold those shoes for 300, and I invested in my first set of baseball jerseys from, like I said, selling weed and stuff was really, and then also a little bit of a mix of like student refund checks. Honestly, is how I really kept going. But then when I moved back home and I stopped selling weed, then I went broke. You know what I'm saying? And then I also tried to do like a collection that was a little bit more high end with like $500 denim jackets and like
wow.
$160 t-shirt with 100,000 stitches in it. And then like my clientele, my current customer base was not ready for that. I went high end too quick. And so I didn't really make that much money from it. So honestly, Jan, I can't really say anything but God and faith, because sometimes God would send somebody in my life to bless me with like $2,000, and like a couple of friends that would invest like a couple $100 here and there and just have to pay them back type of situation. But like when I first got out of college, I went through like a big struggle financially, and I just was like, oh, I owed a lot of debt, but I just really had faith in God and just had to figure out like what I needed to do better. And so fast forward now, I've been able to obtain like $50,000 in grants within the last like 16 months. So
Wow.
like my first grant was through Greater Inglewood, for
Mhm.
everybody in Chicago. So Greater Inglewood, it was a business pitch competition. And so I had to come up with a business plan, and then the business plan everybody's business plan went through a round of review. And then if it got to the final round, then 10 people were able to pitch their business. And so I pitched, and everybody got money, but it was only 2 grand prize winners. And by the grace of God, I was one of the grand prize winners. And it was funded by Walter Robb, who was like the CEO of Whole Foods.
Oh,
And so the grand prize was 10,000. That was December of 2019, and that was my first like $10,000 check. And they gave it to us in parts, so we got 5,000 and then 5,000 a couple months later. But still, that was like my first like big grant. Everything else, and then also when I was in Iowa, I did get a micro loan with the bank in Iowa. But when I was in Iowa, I started the business in Iowa, but I had to shut down the business in Iowa. And I also had a business partner in Iowa, and we had to go our separate ways. And
right.
then I officially started the business here in Chicago of October 2018. So I got into different like entrepreneur programs like these nonprofits have, like entrepreneurship and stuff like that, and be
Mhm.
able to build my network and stuff. And so really, it was kind of a struggle, because look, if I could get my hand on $300 or $150, I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna get 20 t-shirts for $150, and make 300. So it's like when I didn't really have the money, like I just hustle at heart. I know how to make something work, with also like God coming through with like grants and stuff like that. But it really just comes down to faith and believing that if this is what God wants me to do, if I have faith in him and I do things right according to his word, he's going to provide for me. He's going to provide the provision for the vision, you
Mhm.
know.
And so, okay, so then you start out, and I remember when you had the higher end things, and you're like, well, my people want like a $99 jacket, and I'm selling a $500
Yeah.
jacket. And so you pivoted, and then you started producing rather than in the US. Did you start making things overseas, or like that one bomber?
Yeah, so I mostly always start off doing things overseas because with being a self-taught designer, like I designed my first piece in the lab, in like the computer lab in my dorm room. And
Yes.
I didn't know, I designed it on Photoshop, didn't know how to use it, didn't realize till later you're supposed to actually design on Illustrator, right? And so I always wanted to do cut and sew. So I just kind of like, it was a big trial and error because like I would find companies and then like send them a sample of what I had. I'm like, make it like this, but do this, this, and this. No idea what a tech pack was or anything like that. And so I would waste a lot of time and money on like samples because they weren't done the right way and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I think in 2017, after my first fashion show, and that was also a good little boost because we made like a couple $1,000s in that one night. We sold tickets and we sold
I
merchandise,
actually
and we
remember
had
that. I remember that.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, in
You made
Wicker
a couple
Park. So
thousand.
that was a big pivoting point too because in 2016, that's when I decided to no 2017, yeah, 2016, 2017 is when I decided to drop out of college. So then I had a vision to do a fashion show. Didn't know what I was doing. Never threw a fashion show ever before in my life, and I had my clothing brand and like 4 other people's clothing brands, local Chicago designers, and then local Chicago artists and poets that came. And it was like a night of art, music, and fashion. It was an art gallery in Wicker Park. And I sold like $15 general admission tickets, $20 VIP tickets. And we had like a bar and everything like that. And it was cool. And we sold out and we packed the house. And I was like very surprised. And I was like, wow, glory to God. And then we did the same thing the next year, and it was even bigger. And we sold $20 general and $40 VIP. And
Yeah.
you can't get in if you're not 21 because that's how the venue is here. And a lot of people got turned down at the door, actually. So doing those fashion shows became a new marketing strategy for us. But then, like, the last one we did was actually for All-Star Weekend. And then after that, COVID. So I really haven't been able to do any events since then. So that also helped generate some revenue as well, putting together those events. But then I became an event planner without even knowing it because it took a lot putting those events
Oh,
together. I didn't know what I was doing, but it
and
came
working with
together
all the
little by
other
little together.
vendors, like it's a lot. But so a lot of fashion shows are a big fat waste of time. But so you did it where you made money. So you had like you had the show and then you had a selling area, or how did you structure it?
Yeah. So the first show, yeah. Well, all of the shows I was selling merchandise. The first show I was only selling my merchandise. So the other people, they were just in the show. So
Okay.
they could only buy Almighty at that show. And the second show, it was 2 other vendors, but they weren't clothing brands. They were just vendors that paid like $100 for the table or whatnot. It was like body, skincare type of stuff, type
Okay.
of vibes. And then we had an Almighty table. So people shot before and after the show.
Okay.
Because after they see the pieces, they inspired like, let me go grab one, so
I remember
yeah.
having a client when I first started, and she said, I did a fashion show. I had an event, and I did a fashion show. And she goes, what I learned was you should do the fashion show first and then have the selling because then they've seen the clothes. And I was like, how could you not know that? But how would you know, right? If you've never done it
Yeah.
before, like I was like, oh, honey, you did the selling and then the show? Like, no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
okay, so then
And then the ticket sales too. The ticket sales help. It really covered the venue, but then if you sell enough, then you also profit from the ticket sales as well.
so at this point, you've built up your online business, you have your own app for Almighty, like you
Yeah.
have 25,000 23,000 Instagram followers. Will you do events again when the
I
pandemic?
want to, but with COVID, with the whole situation, I feel like we're gonna get shut down again. That's a different story for another time. I hope not, but I don't know. I feel like it's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like I'm getting more into doing events and workshops. But more so online right now. I just don't feel comfortable bringing a group of people together. I would just feel so bad if like, cause I love bringing people together and like people connect and stuff like that. And like people build relationships from like, oh yeah, that was at the Almighty fashion show. But then on the other end, I would feel terrible if somebody came to the event like, yeah, I think I got COVID there. You know what I'm saying? Like I would just feel terrible. I just don't want to like do that. So like, yeah.
I don't want to touch that either. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, your first customers came from the shows. probably, right? Friends and
No,
family.
my first customers came from Instagram because I started selling online in 2014. We didn't do the show till like 2016.
Right.
So my first customers came from just online and Instagram, but Instagram was so different in 2014. Instagram was so different in
European
2014.
sales. Like I remember you.
Yeah, a lot of sales in London and stuff because back then hashtags were underused. So like you could see a lot of, I mean, people still use hashtags now, but hashtags were different back then. And so like, and then there were different like blogs, like fashion blogs on there that like sometimes you would pay them a small fee for them to like post like $20 anymore. Obviously, they haven't in a very long time. A lot of like European sales like London, like Spain, Italy, like a lot of those sales when I came out with the collection, my first collection actually, because it was different. It was different. It was different cuts,
Yeah.
a lot of patches and embroidery. And I was always inspired by like cut and sew and oversized like wear. And they do a lot of that in London, but they don't really do that here. So when I did it, like they really liked that. And so, yeah, I would say a lot of it came from my Instagram and like different blogs, like posting on different blogs back then. So yeah, and then like friends and family as well. And I was in college too. So like, college, I felt looking back at it though, I could have took more advantage in college. I could have been more creative and did like more stuff there. Like, I did a couple of fashion shows there, but I could have been like really on my stuff. But like when I was in school, it was really like a side hustle thing. It wasn't like I was focusing on, organic chemistry and biochemistry and human anatomy. So I didn't, but now looking back at it, I could have took like an even bigger advantage of being on a college campus like that. But
Because you
it
have
is what it
access
is.
to so many customers
Yeah,
immediately. Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just stick with the Instagram for a second, because totally. I mean, I remember back then being like, this kid knows how to do. I'm sorry, I did call you a kid, but Dondre knows
No,
how
you
to
good.
work these things, right? But now, fast forward, Instagram's changed. You have now like a Christian-based theme or vibe or whatever that you didn't really have before. And I noticed that it seems like you scrubbed your wall or whatever you want to call it, your feed. Tell me about what are the changes you did on Instagram recently with, I'm not gonna say it's a rebrand, but like now
No, it is rebranding. It is
Okay.
rebranding. That's exactly what it is. I definitely been rebranding. Because my target, as I learned from you, and we had to get really deep on who our target customer is. Like I said, sometimes it can change every 90 days. And so my customer has always been the streetwear, sneakerhead, love hip hop, rap, fashion, traveling, art, music, sneakers, type of vibe, which is still my customer. But I also want to now bring in like a specific niche, like Christian streetwear is a very specific niche. And so when I first started the brand, I didn't really like have a super deep relationship with God like I do now. And so one of the reasons why I actually dropped out of college is because when I was traveling for my business, when I took a year off of deferment, I ran into this guy that changed my life forever and kind of started talking to me and ministered to me, talking to me about God, and changed my perspective on life. And then since then, that's when I started building my relationship with God and seeking God. And then God helped me understand that this brand was for him. Like, I didn't even know Almighty was for him, but he always knew it was for him. So now it's just, I have to be authentic to who I am. Like, really, to be honest with you, what I do like every day, like I'm in Bible study every day. I'm an evangelist by God's grace. I teach the word of God. Most people don't know that because I don't post that, but this is who I am. And so I have to be authentic to who I am. And with being authentic who I am, I know that there's a community that I can serve. And I can serve both communities. You don't have to be a believer to buy the clothes. You don't have to believe in God to buy the clothes. What I learned is a lot of people will like the streetwear market, they'll buy the clothes just because it looks dope. But then those that are believers and like are seeking God and stuff like that, they're going to love the message, and I can also help serve them because like, the messages of like just talking about different topics to be able to uplift them and encourage them and inspire them and share scripture with them. Like they'll get something out of it. So now it's like, I want to focus more on that, like creative Christian market, if you will. So those that are believers that love God, but they also love, like, you know, music, art, fashion, photography, creative things, and focus on bringing them in, because I feel like that's the community that I can serve. But I can serve both. But I feel like, you know, tapping into a specific niche, I could really serve them, you know. But I serve both, but I just feel like they'll like attach onto the message more, rather than the streetwear. They just like, oh, that's dope, that's cool, I like that, because they're like, yeah, you know, they're more so about the image. Like the streetwear market is more so about the image, like, yeah, you know, I want to look good when I go out. Whether like the Christian market is more so like, I find God, like I want to wear this because it represents what I believe in, you
Right.
know.
And I really actually totally believe that, you know, with the designers that I work with my own business, there's you, there's me, there's the customer, and there's the universe. And if the three of the things are not in alignment, you don't want to do the bit, like, not enough. There's the money's not worth it. It's too much work. Like, if you're working on something that hard that doesn't speak to you and serve the world in some way, and just the vehicle
Right.
is apparel, it could be
Exactly.
you sold something else, some other product, you know, it just happens to be it's apparel by which you're doing what you do. I think that's just huge, honestly.
No.
More important in the last like 5 years. And certainly after with the pandemic, people are like, well, F this. Like,
Yeah.
life really is a lot shorter than I even thought. And I don't want to be just hawking clothes. It's got to be more than that. Right?
Yeah.
So how did you so I have a million questions. So how do you get your customers now? What is the marketing activity that you do that creates the most return on investment for you?
Yeah. So actually, you know, last year was a very tough year for all of us, not only with being a pandemic, but with like the revolution that we have experienced with the whole George Floyd and everything like that, and everybody wanting to shine more light on Black businesses and understand the systemic oppression and the generational curses that we've been dealing with for over 400 years. With that, and people becoming more sensitive and like speaking up, and everyone becoming some type of an activist in a sense, and caring about the actual community and not just caring about selling their products.
Yeah.
It has really changed things. And so like the very first fashion show that I did, and our best-selling bomber jacket that has Malcolm X on there and Tupac, and it talks about unity and freedom.
Yep.
That first fashion show was inspired by police brutality, Black on Black crime, systemic oppression, all the stuff that we saw transpire last year. And so I think that's why last year, that jacket, that's why we sold like 750 of those jackets last year, I believe. And I think that's why within the last 12 months, we have grossed 6 figures, which is crazy. Because when I looked at that on Shopify, I'm like, what? It doesn't feel like it. But
right.
last year is really when last year is really when the money started to come in. And that's when and really it came from Facebook ads, to be honest. And I think that we were just at a time where it was just it was very tough, but for like businesses, like especially online e-commerce businesses, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
On the business side of things, because people were kind of scared, and we did the No Fear collection. So, and we planned that collection before the whole pandemic thing. So it just all worked out. So when I was doing Facebook ads, you know, having a whole funnel system with, you know, showing an ad, getting them on our email list, and, you know, getting them the product, that's what generated most of our sales was Facebook ads. Now I need to do better with, like, this month I'm committing to sending 1 email a week, because I haven't been doing email marketing as I should. So I know I need to do more email marketing. And I kind of got into influencers a little bit, but never really focused on it. So another thing that we're implementing this month is a like brand ambassador, like affiliate program in a sense, if you will. So we're partnering up with influencers to be brand ambassadors, so they can create content for us, so that we can have, you know, user generated content, but then also giving them their own personal link to share out with their people. And then when they share it out to their people can come and shop through their link and get a discount, and then the brand ambassador, the influencer, can also get a small percentage of the sales. So that's going to help with the word of mouth. So that's a new thing that we're about to start rolling out. And then also the mobile app is something that we came out with Black Friday last year, and we exclusively dropped the same bomber jacket but in a different colorway, black and gold, on our mobile app, and that was another great way of another adding that sales channel was great as well. Yeah, exactly. That's it. And thank you. And it connects to Klaviyo, so it works. So yeah, so that's what's been working so far. Despite the inconsistent content, I would say that I have been not consistent with my content, partly because of rebranding and also partly because of starting another like consulting business at the same time. So
yeah. So tell us about that. So just briefly, you are offering help as a consultant to other brands, like you're spreading the love here. So what are you doing? Like if somebody's like, because people say, Dondre, how'd you do it? How'd you get here? Where do you get your things made? And now you started, is it called brand design? What's it called?
Design your brand. Design your brand.
Yeah.
Design your brand. So basically, Design Your Brand is like a small batch manufacturing and fashion consulting firm. So we provide consultation, and we just help. This is what I found from being a self-taught designer. You have designers that know how to create a garment from scratch and how to construct a garment, but they have no idea how to sell online at all. They have no idea how to brand themselves, right? But then you have brand owners and creatives that are good at, branding and creating content and telling their story online, but they have no idea how to create a garment. And so we want to bridge that gap between fashion design and branding, hint, design your brand. So my partner Lydia and I, we are basically design and branding coaches. And what we do is we help you get from sketch to sales through consultation, and then also through technical design services. So if you need pattern making, if you need technical sketch and flats, if you need 3D mockups, we do 3D mockups. We have software for that as well. Anything technical design services we can do. And then also we do consulting as well, as far as just if you just need somebody to talk to and one-on-one private coaching, you tell us what your issues are, and we can give you a strategic plan and hold you accountable and help see you through. Because I wish I had that, and you were that for me at the time when I first, we said when we first connected. I didn't realize that I connected with you like when I was thinking about, man, I think I'm gonna drop out. So like you were literally like my first mentor, because I was doing it by myself the whole time.
Yeah, but
you had the program Sell More Products Online. That was the program that I joined, Sell More Products Online, and that was the first. Yeah, that was it.
And Dondre is now, he's in the content club, guys. And before we got him there, he's like, I got to do my holiday plan. Turn it in for submission for next week, by the way. Don't just do it.
Okay, I will. All right, I'll submit it so that I want to get in that hot seat.
Get in the hot seat. Yeah, you guys, we do live hot seats, like for an amazing, that's $100 a month. Like it's a great price. Anyway, but if people are interested in, so his brand, Almighty, ALMVGHTY, I like to say, ALMVGHTY. I can't help it. It's so funny. Almighty.com. Don't miss it. It's great. Get the app, get all the things. Hey, you haven't sent as many texts lately, have you? Or am I just not on your list anymore?
Yeah, I haven't been really sending texts like that, but we are also switching our text platform. So I do need to send more texts to get people familiar before we switch platforms and change the number again.
Are you going to switch it to video, or what are you going to use?
It's this thing called ClickSend.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with ClickSend. We're using ClickSend because it integrates the best with the new funnel that we built for the brand ambassadors and the influencers. Okay. But then also not just the brand ambassador program is not just for influencers. It could also be from past supporters and customers. And then it's just like they get locked in with a 20% discount for life type of situation. 20%. Yeah, for the brand ambassadors. For the brand ambassadors.
Announced that yet? Are you sure about that? Let's discuss.
No, I haven't announced it yet. It's
I just be careful of doing anything for life. Okay, I've had a long life. You've had a shorter life. For life means for life. Okay,
right.
Why don't you say for the first year you get 20? Right. I'm just saying. Okay. So
that's something to think about. This is why you're still my mentor.
No, I'm telling you, I can't even tell you how many times I've said for life. And then I've been like, I'm never say never, but I will never do anything unlimited for life. Like not happening, not going
Yeah,
to do it because things
yeah,
change, right?
yeah.
So,
Things that change.
okay. So almighty.com, but also you guys, his website for the consulting will be up soon. It's
It will be up soon. Yeah, it'll be
designyourbrand.us.
designyourbrand.us. Designyourbrand.us.
But in the meantime, you can reach out if you need help to info@designyourbrand.us for his email. Okay. And then
Yes,
whatever.
ma'am.
If you can't find him that way, just find him through Almighty. It's all good. But okay, question for you. So if you had an extra $5,000 to spend on marketing right now, how would you spend it?
Great question. Man, so one thing, so I had started working with a digital marketing agency to help because I was doing all the ads by myself last year. And so I just started working with an agency in March for the first time. And it's just like that retainer is just like a little high, but it's just kind of like it helps to have a team run it for you. So the 5,000, it'll definitely go to not just Facebook ads, but also like Google ads. And that's something that I'm kind of like taking time to learn right now.
Mhm.
It's like Google ads and YouTube ads. So yeah, it would go to that. It will go to
And
that. I've
when
been
you say,
contemplating.
okay,
Oh, I was just say I've been contemplating on like reaching out to certain accounts that post like videos that go viral. That specifically I know where my customers are on that platform. So I've been thinking about maybe reaching out with a specific video that I have of me talking about a specific topic that I know has the potential to go viral, and it's seeing how much it'll cost to pay them to post on their platform. But I don't really want to do that because so I was like, I don't know, I just like it's a thought. So it's like if I got 5,000 out of the blue to do and it was like $500, I might spend $500 to do that just to see what happened. But yeah.
I really want to see what would happen. Please do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've been
I
thinking about
almost want to give you the $500, but not enough. I'm
it.
not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So okay, so paid advertising, and when you say Facebook ads, how I know you consider them Facebook, Instagram ads together. How much of your ad spend comes up on Facebook versus Instagram when you do those ads? Where do you
Yeah,
put it?
mostly Instagram. Most people buy from Instagram. So like most of the money that we made last year was from people coming from Instagram ads.
Okay, so please
But
know
we set up on Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. And then if let's say you could time travel yourself, let's just even say a year, not that much. We still might be dealing with some Delta variant. I don't know if things are open and you're having big parties again or whatever, but where do you want to take this? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, that's a great question. I kind of see Almighty being like the biggest clothing line ever. Humbly speaking, like when I think of like Gucci and Louis, like I do want to eventually go high end, but then I also want to always have products that are for that anybody can buy.
Yeah.
Because right now our price range is like $20 for like a regular like dad cap, but then our suede caps are a little bit nicer, are like $40. But right now our price range is anywhere between like $20 or $30 to like $150. Our bomber jacket, $175 right now. Our highest bomber jacket is 175. So I want to be able to keep this range of category, but then I also want to be able to go high end,
Yeah.
high end women's wear, men's wear, and then also sneakers. I feel like once I get into sneakers and footwear, because that's like what the original thing was, and getting into denim and stuff like that, that's when things are really gonna take off. But it just takes time and patience to get there. But yeah, I do see Almighty being like a household name for fashion for sure. And that everybody's gonna want an Almighty piece, and they will want the Almighty piece because they will want to have a deeper meaning of like purpose. I want people to identify Almighty with God and purpose, like living a life of purpose and getting closer to God. Like that's what I want people to feel when it comes to Almighty and like community as well. and
Yeah.
just elevating, like just getting to another level in life, like physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, like just leveling up. Like that's what I want people to associate Almighty with.
I was just reading, the New York Times is calling it I think the YOLO economy. The you only live once economy, for anyone who's not familiar with that. Many varied individuals refusing to get back into the professional hamster wheel and instead are reimagining their lives, and also just looking for more meaning, like the pandemic has changed us in a big way, and you're a little ahead of the curve. You were already there. You're already, you know, using the clothing to grow and whatever, but like we're all looking for a little bit more now than we might have been just on the hamster wheel of like life, you know. Was there a specific time when you were like, I don't think this is going to work out, maybe I'm done? I mean, that probably happens to everybody a lot, but was there a time with this business where you're thinking, I don't know if I'm not going back to school, but I'm not doing this anymore either?
Honestly, no, to be honest, because I will wear my clothing and people will compliment me on it and ask me, you know, where'd you get that from? Like, it happens all the time. Like, I just got off the plane, and it's funny that you said ALMVGHTY and stuff, because I literally posted something on my story today with it. And I said, is this really hard to read? Because when I got on the plane and I was boarding on, she said, what does your hoodie say? And I said, Almighty, it's a brand. And she's like, oh, okay. And so like, or
Well,
like when I was wearing
how old was she?
She was older. She was older.
Yeah.
She was
like
older.
me,
She was
yeah.
older. Yeah. So, and then like I went to get some food, and I was wearing the hat with, you know, the logo with the, you know, with the two V's.
Yeah.
And then they were like, she's like, what is that? What is that logo? That's dope. I said, oh, it's my brand. It stands for vision and victory. And they're like, okay. So when things like that happen, and when people comment, like, just because people don't really compliment you that often, like sometimes they do. I always try to compliment people when I see them and, you know, speak, but sometimes people don't speak. So when people speak and they say, and I'm wearing something, they be like, man, that's dope. I like that. Where you get that from? It was always confirmation that this is something I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's always been like that. So I never, like, I'll have low moments like, dang God, I don't know, you know, what to do. I would feel stuck. I had moments where I felt stuck. I didn't know what I want to do. I didn't know where the money was going to come from. I had those type of moments, but I never had a doubt in my mind that this is what I'm supposed to do. And my faith carries me that way, and to keep doing it, you know.
So interesting. Okay, so it's going to be a global brand. Add the shoes, make it more lifestyle, all the things.
Yes.
Somebody who's sitting there being like, I wish I was Dondre right now. You got a good leg up with Instagram. You made a lot of mistakes with, I thought I could just tell someone to make this product. I didn't get a technical design or whatever. If you had to give like two things that if you were starting over again today, you would do it this way, what would it be? Because we can't, starting back in 2014 or whenever you were a freshman in college, totally different story. But if you were starting over again today, what would you tell somebody like, dude, just don't do this or do this?
Yeah. First of all, find a mentor that's doing what you want to do on a higher level. That's the first step.
Yep.
Because you're going to save time and money, and you'll have somebody to guide you and coach you. Yep. Because when I got introduced to you, that's when things got better for me. And then I was able to get like other mentors and stuff, because and like I have a mentor in every area of my life, like business, finances, you know what I'm saying? Like physical fitness. Like, so number one, getting a mentor. And number two, I would say like just having faith and believing in yourself, you know, believing that you can do it, you know, and, you know, also pray. Because that's what got me through it. Like literally, like I don't know what else to tell you. Like pray, but I mean also, yeah, you know, like pray, and then I'm more practical. Like definitely finding a mentor, pray, and then also just like do it. You know, just do it. Like this is our saying for Design Your Brand. You ready for our slogan?
Yeah.
Start small. Start now.
Fucking A. Oh, no, I gotta mark this.
That's it. That's okay.
Start small, yeah, so start now. Yes.
That's it.
Please. Everybody listen to Dondre. Yeah. Do it. He's super freaking smart, and he's been through the ringer. He's been through the stuff. And okay, I have a million questions, but we're gonna wrap here. Let's have a part 2 later and we get it
Let's
up.
do it.
Okay, because I love it. You got the app, you got the you're getting please, thank you for saying you're going to go back to emails. I do remember you saying my people don't really read emails, I'm just going to do text, I think at one point, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay. But I'm really glad you're doing both, so that's great. I mean, email marketing, the ROI on that it really is insane. And really good luck with the affiliates or the referral partners, the brand ambassadors.
Yeah.
I have some clients that are killing it with that, and some that have done it and done well, but they don't like it, so they stop. So we'll see how it goes and how, because it's gonna be interesting. It's all interesting, isn't it? Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it is. It is fun.
It's
sometimes stressful, but always fun.
What do you do when it gets stressful? Do you have any tips for because I mean, it is stressful, manufacturing, crabby customer, whatever. What do you do to, how do you help that?
I like to journal. I like to journal a lot. Journal, pray. I love to travel. Like I said, just got back in. So I love to travel and just relax. Just find something to do. I like going to network, even though I haven't really been going out since the pandemic. I used to like going I am going to go to an art gallery on Saturday. So I have, it's going to do something like that. It's like an art gallery, art show thing. So I'm going to do that, wear my mask the whole time. So do stuff like that. I don't work on Saturdays. So I relax and kind of deplug on Saturdays. So I take one day to rest for sure. I believe in taking one day to rest. If God did it, we should do it. So yeah, I think, those are some things. Going out to eat at nice restaurants, just, going by the lake.
It's great. Dude, you are such a pleasure and such a really amazing human and entrepreneur. So thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it so much. So guys, you'll find Dondre at almighty.com, which is ALMVGHTY, ALMVGHTY. I actually even remember, I remember meeting you because you made such an impression. And I remember thinking, God, I hope my boys end up like this, nice person, looks you in the eye, has a passion, right? But I remember you said it's Almighty with a V, and I was like, of course it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course it is.
Almighty with a V.
Almighty.com with a V. And his consulting, if you're interested to chat with him and see if that's a fit for you, designyourbrand.us will be coming up soon. In the meantime, just email him, info@designyourbrand.us. And you will find all the show notes and anything Dondre mentioned and links back to his stuff back on the blog at fashionbrainacademy.com/Dondre. Okay. And in the club right now, we are working on the holiday season planning. We are not going to get blindsided by the holidays here, people. So Dondre, I'm super excited to see your plan and help you with anything. And thanks again.
Thank you so much.
You rock.
Pleasure.
You're a pleasure. Enjoy your day. Talk to you later.
You too.
Bye.
Peace.